All right, for this part of the video, we're going to take a look at some of the watch bands that I have for this Galaxy Watch 5 and some of the accessories, mainly just one specific accessory. So we're going to get started with the watch bands. So the one that I'm currently wearing that I have on the watch as I'm filming this is one of the official Samsung bands. So this one is one of my favorites just because it has the two-tone. So this one is the navy blue with the black, and it just goes so nice with the watch. So also we have the red version. Now when you look at this in person, it's really not that red. So take a look at that. That looks more orange. There's a red band that I have here that I don't know. They're like two different colors. I don't know. But Samsung says that this one is red. So, but I love the way these look. So the two-tone look is just fantastic to me. So, and it just goes so well with the actual watch itself. So if you go down the line, so we have metal bands right here. So we have a Milanese loop one. So I'm going to put that on so you can see what it looks like on the watch. It is really, really nice. All right, so y'all ready for this? Look at this thing, boy. This thing looks so nice. Now, what's crazy is that people swear up and down, like, you know, when you listen to other reviewers, they will tell you that you can't really dress up, like this isn't made to be dressed up. This is more of the sport version of the Galaxy S5. I beg to differ. Even when I had my Watch 4, I would get bands such as this to make it look nice. Like that thing looks great. Like look at that. It just looks elegant and nice. Like you could throw this on and go out for a night on the town in your suit, and or you know, you wearing your tux or whatever. It just looks nice. So that's the Milanese loop one that they have. They call it Milanese loop. Most of the Milanese loops that I've seen have a magnet as the clasp, but this clasp is a two-piece one. So it flops and you just hook it on, close this one and close that one for some extra security. So the other ones I've seen, they have a magnet, but they call this one Milanese loop when I bought this off of Amazon. So yeah, that's that one. So we're gonna take a look at the other metal band. All right, so here we go. This one is the other metal link band. Oh my gosh, like I absolutely love the way this looks, man. Like this is another one. You could just class it up. You can go out on a night on the town, or if you're the type of person that just wears metal link bands all the time, like back in the day when before smartwatches, and I had, you know, I collected a bunch of fossil watches because they had them in all shapes and sizes and colors and styles. I used to get those, and I always wore link bands because that's pretty much the ones that they had. And man, like this takes me back. But it's a full-on smartwatch. Nice, sexy. The black matches. Like the clasp is nice. There's like one of those. This thing is on point. And I got this one and the Milanese loop together in a package on Amazon. I think I paid like 15 bucks for both of them. This thing is so nice. So we're gonna take a look at some of the other ones here too. All right, so this one that we have next is going to be the black leather band that has the white stitching on it. So this is that one. I like this one too. It just all depends on what I'm rocking. So I have a 6-inch wrist, so I always get the medium to small bands because I hate having all this extra flap. Sometimes I have to move this like all the way down just so it doesn't look weird when I wear regular bands. But I feel like this just looks good. It looks really good. I wear a lot of black, like it's like my favorite color, obviously. But when you have something with black and white in it, this stitching just adds to it. It makes everything pop. and I love it. So I'm big on watch bands. As you see, this collection here, and this is actually not all of them. I just bought some of them out. I didn't want to do all of them, but just to show you, this thing is just so nice. It's so nice. The brown one is nice too, so I can show you the brown one. So now we're gonna take a look at the brown one with the white stitching. So it just looks good, and I like this one because it has a black clasp down here, so it just sets it off. When you have the black watch, or what they call, I think they call it charcoal this time, I think, the black one with the black buckle down here, man, it just looks good. Like, I like these. It just feels nice. I've worn these a little bit, so they mold to my arm, so you don't have to worry about it being stiff. But when I first got them, they were pretty stiff, so I had to like work those things out. But here we go. So we got the brown leather one. Alright, so this one is the Samsung sports band, the two-tone sports band. This one's in the red color. I swear this thing looks orange though. It's not as orange as my orange band, but it's like a darker orange to me. It's definitely not red. It just doesn't look that red. It looks more orange, but I like the way the curves, so when you see the black side rail and it just molds right into the black line on the watch band, it just looks so good. And I like the way the clasp is, because right here that's black, and it's a non scrapable black too. Like, I haven't been able to scrape the paint off of this thing yet, and I wear the original Samsung one that comes with it. I wear that all the time because it's like a basic black, and that thing, I've done everything in it and it still is like brand new right here. So good job to Samsung. And this thing is soft too. Like, all of these bands are like super soft, so I do enjoy that. So they're comfortable to wear. I wear mine at night too, so I sleep in mine. So it's definitely, comfort is a must when you sleep in your watch. So this actually just looks spectacular. And yes, I wear my watch on my right hand. I've always done that ever since I was a little kid. My very first watch was like one of those Walmart like fake Casio looking ones that look like you can do calculus and stuff on it. Had all the buttons. I got that for a birthday one year when I was little, and I've worn that watch on. I just put it on my right wrist automatically and never thought anything about it. So I always wear it there, and even though I am right-handed, so just wanted to point that out. A lot of people like to point that out. They say, "Oh, I didn't know you were a lefty." Nah, I'm not. I'm just weird. So, but the last thing I wanted to show you is the accessory that came with it. So when I bought this watch, I was able to, they had a free gift going on. So not only was I able to trade in my watch 4 and get almost $200 off of this watch 5, I was able to get a free gift also. When I bought my watch 4 last year, they had kind of the same deal, but this one is the newer version of the other one. So I kept and put the other one at work, and then I have the main one here at home because it's a faster charger. It's made specifically for the watch 5 and its fast charging capabilities. So this one here is the Samsung wireless charger. So this thing has a fan in it. So when you put two things on there, or when you put your phone on there, it will actually turn on, and it keeps it cool because it actually charges a lot faster than a standard wireless charger. So you can look, if you can see it, I don't know if you can, but they have the logos for like a phone and your earbuds. And then on this one, they have watch and earbuds. So you can lay your Samsung earbuds on this thing, or your phone, and you can have it by the bedside is where I have mine. So this thing is very nice, and it does charge the watch a lot faster than a traditional one. So we'll plop that on there, and then you'll see that pop up. Look at that. Now it's charging. It's going to tell you how long it's going to take for it to fully charge. So I didn't necessarily want to go through all of the other bands. We don't need to. I just wanted to give you an idea of what it looked like. But last thing I wanted to point out on this thing. So I previously talked about the gapless bands and how much I love them in the actual review part. So I just want you to take a look at how cool the gapless bands actually look. Like, it almost looks like it's completely seamless and it's nice. And when it's folded on your wrist, it really turns out to be nice. Now, at first I hated them because I felt like I needed it to fold all the way, like go straight down, but it doesn't. It curves around my wrist perfectly and it just feels so nice. So, and it looks nicer too because it's completely gapless. When I had on, if you've noticed, when I had on the Milanese Loop one, the Milanese Loop and the other ones here, they don't actually have the gapless space in the middle. So like when you look at it, you can see a gigantic gap. You don't see how it's almost molded up to the edges of the watch. And now that I'm used to these, I don't like the way those look as much anymore. I don't mind them, like I'll wear them and roll out, but these just look so much nicer. I mean, it's fantastic. I thoroughly enjoy these gapless watch bands, and all of these down here that I have here are gapless except this section over here. These are the specialty ones. All these bands are gapless and it looks great when you're wearing them. So thank you for watching this portion of the video. I'm gonna kick it back over to myself and we'll wrap it up and give my final thoughts on the watch. So thanks for watching. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to Unscripted Review. I'm your host DV, and today, since it's October now, I feel like a lot of tech comes out. So they usually call this Techtober. So what I want to do today is I want to talk about one of my favorite pieces of tech, and that's the Galaxy Watch 5. So I recently got the Galaxy Watch 5. I got it actually on launch. I will have the launch date somewhere around there, but I got it on launch, and I traded in my Galaxy Watch 4 for the 5. Now, I wasn't initially going to do it, and because there are not too many differences between the two, and we'll go into that here in a second. But the trade-in deal was just way too good to pass up. Like, I decided to get a different color. Instead of the silver that I had for last year's model, I got the charcoal, or black. It's pretty much black this time around, and I'm pretty happy with it. Like, I really do like the black watch look. It looks really good. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna talk a little bit about it. Like, of course, you know, this is unscripted, so I have like bullet points here, but I don't really have like a script to go by. So if I'm rambling, I'm sorry. That's just how it goes. I love talking about tech, so we're gonna jump right in. So this is the Galaxy Watch 5. Now I have the 40 millimeter because I have the wrists of a toddler, so I need to have a smaller watch. Like, I used to wear big watches back in the day, and now that I need to, you know, when I want to dress a little bit better, I need a nice shirt that actually fits. Sometimes the watch is too big to go under the collar. Just stupid things like that. So, well, not the collar, but under the sleeve. Stupid things like that. I just don't. Now I want to get things that actually fit. So this 40 millimeter fits my wrist perfectly, and I usually get these small / medium bands because I don't like all that extra flap going on that's tucked into the watch band. It's a bunch, and it bulges out. It looks dumb. So I get things that fit now. So 40 millimeter. I know it has a smaller battery, but that's fine. I'll deal with that over the style of the watch. I think the watch looks a lot better when it actually fits your wrist. I see some people on YouTube that get the largest watches and they have wrists like my size, and it looks like pretty weird. Like, it's just overly too large. Like, when it takes up from edge of your wrist to edge of your wrist, that's too big, man. And then you see them get the large wristband and, you know, the watch band, and then it looks all weird. Anyway, we're going to get into a couple topics here. So the first one we're going to talk about is design. So this watch pretty much looks like the Watch 4, the Galaxy Watch 4. It looks just like it, actually. It's hard to tell them apart. Now, some people may say that's a good thing. Some people may say that's a bad thing. For me, I'm fine with it. I almost didn't upgrade. I'm telling you, Samsung hits you with those trade-in deals and you cannot pass it up. I did not change I did change some of my bands, but we will talk about that a little bit later. But the design of it is pretty much the same. The main differences between the two, it has sapphire crystal for the display glass now, so that actually is better, and it's scratch resistant. Right now, after a couple of weeks, maybe, how long had this been out? Maybe a month or so. I think it came out in August. So this watch it doesn't have any of the screen protectors or anything on it. So last year I wore a screen protector on the front glass and, you know, came out fine. This time I'm going to try it without it. They swear up and down that this watch can sustain, you know, bumps and scrapes without damaging the glass. So we'll see. One thing I do hate is to have a scratch on my glass, but, you know, things happen. Like I bump into stuff all the time, and, you know, I look down, I'm like, oh crap, but it's fine. So far so good. So I can't complain. It's been pretty solid. So another thing that's in the design is just a little bit different than the Watch 4 is at the bottom section where the actual sensors meet your skin. It bulges out a little bit more, so it can make more contact with your skin, which is a good thing. So you'll get more accurate readings. Look, guys, I'm not out here running marathons and all that stuff, so I can't tell you how the sports stuff is, how the tracking, if it varies from the Watch 4 to 5. I will say the steps are just fine. It manages the steps. It tells me when I've been walking, just like it did on the Watch 4. So I don't know. As far as the watch bands, all of the previous Galaxy Watch 4 bands will fit on the Galaxy Watch 5. So I was able to carry over a lot of those bands. But I did throw away some of those bands because I have discovered that I am a big fan of the gapless watch bands. And I think that I do have that in a section here. So we'll talk about that. But I do like those gapless watch bands. So it looks exactly the same. It has the same placement for the speaker. It has the same placement for the microphone and the two buttons on the sides. All the same. Like, you almost could not tell it apart. The only reason that I could tell it apart is the color. If I bought another silver one, I probably would have accidentally traded in the Watch 5 and kept the Watch 4. Like, that's how much they look alike. But that's not a terrible thing. And I know there are people out there that think that's a terrible thing, but Apple does it all the time. Apple does it all the time. And, you know, sure, people may mention it once or twice, but they don't go hard on it like they do with a lot of the Android products, which is fine. Whatever, to each its own. I think this watch is great. I will say, the screen quality, that's the next topic. The screen quality, to me, for some reason, just looks better. Now, when I had both of them here, when I had both of them to compare, and I looked at the same watch face on both, I think that sapphire just, I don't know, it makes it pop a little bit more. That could be a placebo effect, but I feel like the sapphire just makes it pop a little more. And it's also glossier, shinier. So, like, when you look at it, you'll get more reflections on this one. You can, like, pretty much see yourself in the watch face now, like, because of that sapphire crystal, which is fine. It doesn't bother me at all. It actually, when people look at it, like, you know, when you're sitting there and people look at it, it gives it more of a premium look because it shines. It's pretty good. I'm down with the sapphire glass. Like, I've owned a lot of watches before. Most of them, a lot of them are smartwatches. 'cause I've had a smartwatch ever since the first Motorola 360 came out, and they've always just had standard Gorilla Glass. And I mean, it's bad. I haven't noticed a difference, but until now that I have something different, a lot of people are watch collectors, and they've had other Rolexes and other things that use sapphire, and people love it. So far so good on that. So it keeps the same screen resolution as the previous one, but like I said, with that sapphire, it just looks, I don't know, it just looks a little bit more crisp. The overall screen quality is the same. The touch responsiveness is the same. I don't have any issues with it. I did turn off the touch bezel, the digital touch bezel, because they got rid of the physical bezel on there that you can turn. I will say I didn't necessarily miss it. Because I always got the standard watches, and I've had the Watch Active 2, but I did have also the Watch 3, the Galaxy Watch 3, which I bought it with the rotating bezel. And I will say it is very satisfying. Oh, and I did have the Gear S3 also. So yeah, that had the rotating bezel. That adds chunkiness to the watch though. So that's one reason why I always opt, once I had the option, I always opt to get the one without the rotating bezel, because it sticks up a little bit more, well, a lot more than the one that we have here. So you get that extra little bit for your sleeves and stuff. It's about to be wintertime and cold and stuff, so I'll be wearing a lot of long sleeves. So it definitely gets in the way, and I feel like I can be without that. I almost got the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro, but I decided against it because I saw how thick that bad boy was going to be. And I was like, nah, that battery life will be sweet, but the thickness and how big the watch face itself is, I just didn't want it. I didn't want like something sticking up on my wrist like that big. It's not that big, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just exaggerating, but it is pretty thick. It's a, for a watch, I think it's a double C and a half. Not quite 3 C's yet. There are some watches that are 3 C's. A lot of those Garmin ones that you would wear for like extreme activities and stuff, deep sea diving and all that. I don't do any of that. So a slim watch with a pretty good battery life is all I really need. It's all I really need. And this is exactly what Samsung delivers for me here. It's great. So the watch bands. So like I said, it takes the regular 20 millimeter watch strap. So you can go on Amazon and buy any of them you want. I have a lot of them. I have like a bag full of 20 millimeter watch bands, and I just switch them out depending on what I'm wearing. So I know some people think that's dumb, but hey, I don't think it's dumb. And I spent like $16 on 10 watch bands from Amazon. That's cool. I'm good with that. I also have like metal bands, leather bands, you know, depending on what's going on, what I'm wearing, the situation I'm going to be in. Like I wouldn't go to a water park with the leather strap on, obviously. You would put your silicone one on. But then, whatever you're wearing, you match that silicone strap to what you're wearing. That's how I roll. I'm sorry, that's how I roll. So the straps are cool. And like I said, the no gap bands. Look, when I first got the Watch 4, if you watched the Watch 4 review and unboxing, you probably remember me saying that I hated the no gap bands, like, because they stuck out too much and this and that. I have to retract that statement and tell you that I absolutely love these bands. Like, I only buy the no gap ones unless it's the metal ones. Not all metal ones come like that, you know, with the no gap, which is fine. But I prefer the no gap bands. The way, like when I take a look at it and how it's just perfectly molded to it, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Also, I have a Samsung band that has the colors on the side. So it's two-tone. So the edges of the watch band are black. The center is whatever color you want, red, blue, white. They have I think a green one too. And so I got the red one and I got the blue one. And when you look at it, the way the no gap looks, and then the way the curve of the watch, the lugs, it just blends right into it, and it looks so sexy because the watch is black and then the edges are black, so it looks like it's just one piece. It's great. It is absolutely fantastic. Samsung, you did it. Like, you did it. It looks good. I was hating on it at first, but I wouldn't have it any other way now, and thank you very much. Let's see. What other features, guys? The features that are on this watch in comparison to the Watch 4. It literally has everything else. And it got an update. The Watch 4 got an update to add some of the watch faces that are special to the Watch 5 and so forth. So, and it got bumped up to the Watch UI and the latest Watch UI and Android Wear OS. It bumped that up too. The Watch 4 pretty much is the Watch 5. The main difference between that is battery life, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But the features, I love them. I mean, it's standard smart watch stuff. Like, you get your notifications, it'll track your steps, it'll track your sleeping, which I love. That's probably one of my favorite features of smartwatches today, is that it will track your sleep. And as a person who doesn't sleep very well, like, I don't get a lot of great sleep at night. I'm kind of a light sleeper, and some of my medication makes me one of the side effects is that you can't rest as well as you would want to. So with that being said, tracking my sleep, and then after like 7 days, they'll give you your little animal. So there's an animal within the Samsung Health app that will, kind of walk you through and, tell you what that means. I think I'm the hedgehog, if I'm not mistaken. I think I'm the hedgehog, and the hedgehog is not the best sleeper. And they know that, so they're trying to coach me into getting better sleep, like going to bed at a certain time, not using the phone. Like it's a little coach thing that's on there. It's pretty neat. It does have the snore detector and all that good stuff on there. I don't really snore. I've never been told that I snore unless I'm sick. So I live alone. When I was married, I was never told I really snored. I may breathe heavy at certain points in time, depending on how I'm laying, but I never was a snorer, so I never cared about that. I turned that feature off. But all of these features are still on the Watch 4. So just to say this is the last part that I'll talk about as far as the features go. I feel like with this particular watch, it makes me feel a little bit better about my health and fitness and stuff like that, just because I have better battery life, which means that I don't have to worry about charging it as much, so I can wear it overnight and things like that. But I have a charging routine that devices will put you in a charging routine. I don't know about you guys, but I get battery anxiety on certain things, like my phone. And my phone hits like 40%. I'm like, it's time to charge no matter where I am. It's, you get that weird feeling. Even though I could make it through whatever I'm doing, hitting 40% gets me. And on the watch, when it hits 50%, I'm like, okay, it's time to charge. So I just have a compulsive nature about charging stuff. So I usually charge my watch while I'm getting dressed in the morning, and I'll charge it right before bed. So like while I'm sitting here watching TV, I will just sit it on the charger. I have chargers everywhere, y'all. I have a little charger behind my main chair. It has a charger for the buds on there, and it has a charger for the watch. So I could just set the watch on there and continue to watch TV. It'll notify me on my phone that the watch is fully charged. So I put the watch back on my wrist, and then I go to bed, and then I wake up. And when I wake up, it's usually about 90%. So I lose about 10% overnight while it's tracking my sleep and my heart rate and all that stuff. So that's not bad. You losing 10% in a 7 to 8 hour thing while it's doing all that tracking, that's not bad. So I will put it back on the charger while I'm getting dressed for work. It's completely 100%. I'll wear it, I go to work, do my thing, get all these notifications from text messages and stuff like that. I get home, I eat dinner, or I shower, eat dinner, watching TV. Probably around 9 o'clock, I look at my watch, and I'm usually at about 60%. So for me, that's not bad as much as I charge it. For other people that don't like to charge anything, that just forget to charge stuff, that may be a problem. But it's not too many smartwatches out there that actually do smartwatch things that last like 3 or 4, 5, 10 days without charging. Usually those are specialty ones that don't do a lot of the smart feature stuff, but they have a lot of the fitness tracking. And they're like 10 times bigger too, so that's fine. The battery life is good for me. I'm not going to recommend going on a little small weekend vacation and not take your charger for it. Absolutely not, unless you put it in the battery saver mode. That'll get you a little bit more juice. Or you put it in watch only mode, which watch only mode shuts all that stuff off. It reboots the watch, and all you can see is the time. You don't have the raise to wake. You don't have the touch bezel. You don't have any of that stuff. All it does is tell you the time, and that can get you like 5 or 6 days, but maybe even 7 days, because that's pretty good. I would only use that out of desperation. Like if I just needed my watch, if I forgot my charger and I needed my watch to stay on, that's what I would do. I'm pretty much the clock king out here in this piece. I am all about time. So watches, I've worn watches since I was a little boy, and yes, I wear them on my right wrist. I am right-handed, but that's the most comfortable wrist to me. Say what you will, but that's the way I wear it. So all in all, this watch is pretty awesome. It's just like the Watch 4. But the battery life, we'll talk about the differences here right now. So the differences between the Watch 4 and the Watch 5 on paper, which I'll have over here, on paper, it's not very significant. But in real life use, based on how I use the watch compared to what I had with the Watch 4, I do get more battery life. When I get home from work, like when I leave work, I work from 8 to 4:30. By the time I get home, it's usually about 5:15-ish. I can walk in the door and look at my watch, and it's at 75%. So I lost 25% from 7:15 in the morning till 5, maybe 5:30 in the evening. To me, that's not bad at all. Like I could, even if I accidentally forgot to not charge my watch and I went back out and went to the movies or hung out with some friends, I would still be okay. I would still be okay and don't have to worry about charging it. With the Watch 4, when I would come home, it would probably be around 65%, maybe 60, well, anywhere between 60 and 65%. Some days are heavier than others for notifications, so sometimes it would be 60%. So to be at 75% is pretty awesome. That is comparable to me when I wore the Galaxy Watch Active 2 as my secondary daily driver. So I would switch off between the Watch 3 and the Active 2. I would switch between those two depending on what I'm doing. And yeah, it definitely feels more about those because Tizen uses less juice overall than Google's Wear OS. That's a known fact. Wear OS is kind of power hungry, and Tizen really wasn't. So for Google and Samsung to get together and make this as comparable as when it was on Tizen, I'm feeling that right there. I'm totally feeling that. Some days out of that Watch Active 2, I could get home and it'd be about 80% if I didn't get a lot of notifications, which is pretty awesome. But I think the battery life is pretty good. It's what I'm used to. I have friends that have Apple Watches, and they're like, dog, I can't even make it through a full day with that jank. And here I am. Here's another thing too. I know a lot of the YouTubers out there kind of jaded because they review all of these products. I'm a regular dude. I don't have any sponsors. I ain't balling. So the things that I buy, like I trade in other things to buy these things. So I don't have like a million other things to compare it to and all that stuff. And I use mine every day. Like this bad boy doesn't leave my wrist unless I'm in the shower or I need to charge it. That's it. So other YouTubers, they're like, oh, well, this is not my daily driver. I want this to be. I only got one main watch, and this is it until the Pixel Watch comes out, and then I'll have 2 main watches. But for right now, this is it. So this is all I see all the time. It's the only thing I have to compare it to. And people who have Apple Watches will complain that they get maybe 10 hours, maybe 12 hours out of their watch. While I'm sitting here, I can go 2 full days if I really want to. If I didn't have battery anxiety, I could get 2 full days out of this, and probably till the next, the third day, like the morning of the third day, it probably can go overnight and be just fine. So that would be 3 days, 2.5 days, I would say. I probably can get that out of this watch, which is perfectly fine for me. And I feel bad for the Apple Watch users that buy the normal Apple Watch and it's only rated for like 18 hours. That is trash, bro. That's trash. But it's the #1 smartwatch in the world, they say, which is fine. Android users, I know sometimes I feel like us Android users, since we have so many choices for everything, we just don't appreciate the things that we do have. And I know that sounds weird, but like we have a watch, we have a variety of watches, as a matter of fact. You could get a Fossil watch, a Fossil smartwatch, a Skagen, you could get Michael Kors, you could get the Samsung ones, we got the Pixel watch about to come out. We have so much variety and choice that we forget when something is actually really good. I really think these Samsung watches are the best out right now in the Android market. I know people love the Tick watch and all that stuff, but let's be real here, y'all. I can't just go into a random store and say, hey, yo, let me see that Tick watch. Or I don't even see people in the wild with Tick watches. So we have to be realistic on what's available to us right then and there. And the Samsung watches and the Skagens and the Fossils and all those are available to us. I can go right now and go get a Fossil Gen 6 from Best Buy and wear it. But I really love these Samsung watches, and I think they are the absolute best Android watches that you can get. I wish I could wear the Pro, because I probably would have got the Pro, paid a little bit more money and got the Pro, but it's just way too big for me. But I've watched other reviews on that, and people say the battery life is great. So if the way I have my settings, if I'm getting 2.5, maybe 2.5 days out of this watch, I would probably get like 4.5 days out of that daggone Pro, because that watch battery is big. That's a big boy. That's a big boy. So I feel like nothing is wrong with these watches. These watches are beautiful. They look good. The UI is good. I'm so glad they went over to Wear OS, because now I can get the apps, the Google Play apps. So what's dope about this, since it's an Android operating system with the Samsung skin over top, it's just like having a Samsung phone, but mine is attached to a Pixel. So there are like a couple things that I can't do if, you know, not being on a Samsung device. But what's dope about it is when you get the watch and you set it up, you can go into the Play Store on the watch and you can actually see what apps you have on your phone that are also compatible with the watch, and then you can just download those. Like I have an app called Smart Card. So Smart Card lets you put all of your loyalty cards on there, like your Food Lion MVP and your Harris Teeter VIC, or I think it's VIC, and all that other stuff. You get to put that on there, and then you can add the app to your watch, and then you can have your barcodes on your watch. Like, yo, you should see the people when I go up into Food Lion, dog. Like, I get it prepared, you know, because I hate to be in the line fiddling like, oh man, I'm getting my watch. I have it already. I get the barcode up, I get everything ready. So when I go up to the cash register and she says, hey, do you have your MVP card? I say, well, yes, I do. And she scans my watch, and people around are like, oh, that is, what watch is that? What watch is that? It's an awesome thing to have, and it's very convenient because when I go make payments now, I don't even have to take out my wallet at all, unless it's like Walmart that doesn't accept mobile payments unless it's their Walmart app, whatever thingy. I'm not going to do that. If it's not on Samsung Pay or Google Pay, even PayPal, I don't need it. I don't need it at all. And that's real talk there. So I do go to Walmart though, because I have to buy groceries, but I'm not going to worry about that. It's fine. You need groceries. But this watch is awesome, y'all. This watch is absolutely awesome. I recommend it to everyone. Now, do you need to go from the Watch 4 to the Watch 5? Not really, unless you can get on Samsung.com and get that bomb deal that I got. I think I ended up paying like $85 total for this watch after the trade-in. This normally is $279. So yeah, that's not bad. I'll do that and keep this bad boy for another year, I guess, and trade it back in for the next Samsung watch. But y'all, I'm waiting for this Pixel watch. If y'all don't know, I'm deep in the Google ecosystem in Android, and I thoroughly enjoy smartwatches. So I've been waiting since the Pixel 1 for them to come out with an actual Pixel watch. Coming up in the next couple of days, actually. I'm filming this, what is this, today's date? I'm filming this on October 4th. On October 6th, Google will go ahead and announce the watch and show us the pricing and probably get the pre-orders done. I'm gonna be there to pre-order it, y'all. There's only a few things that I rush out to get, and smartwatches are definitely one of them. I don't even really do phones. I did pre-order the Pixel 6 Pro because I came from a Pixel 4a, and I finally wanted a Pro model. It's a little bit big, but whatever. I love that phone though, and I love this watch, and it's a dope combination. So don't be afraid because you don't have a Samsung watch. I mean a Samsung phone. Don't worry about that. You can still pair it up, and it'll give you 98% of the things that you need to do. The only thing you really can't do is the ECG and I don't know if you can transfer. You might be able to transfer stuff now since it's Wear OS and not Tizen. Usually with the Tizen watches, you couldn't transfer music from your phone directly to the watch, but I think you can now, music and photos. I don't do that on there. If I'm listening to music, I don't have it on the watch because I don't do any running or anything crazy. The things that I do outside, mostly I walk my dog, and I usually have my Pixel Buds Pro in so I can hear the ambient noise, so just in case somebody walk up on me. Oh, by the way, check out my review on the Pixel Buds Pro. Another good piece of tech. But yeah, that's mainly what I do. So I don't really use this watch like with all the features. I need mainly the notifications, dope watch faces, sweet watch bands, and cool apps like the card app, and for mobile payments. So, and sleep tracking, that's also a big thing. So am I a super user? Absolutely not. Do I use it at least 50 to 60%? Yeah, I would say so. I use a lot of the features, just not a lot of the fitness ones. So let's see, I think that's pretty much it for the review of the Galaxy Watch 5. Hopefully when I get my Pixel watch, I will be able to do a side-by-side comparison if you guys want to see that. My next big project is going to be CES. That's in January. So I will be going to CES, and hopefully you guys will enjoy the content that I'm going to have out then. It's my first time being a content creator going to CES. The last time I went was in 2019, and I wasn't doing anything on YouTube, so I didn't record anything or have anything cool. Hopefully this time with my little Sony camera, you guys can enjoy the things that I have enjoyed going out there to CES. So look, thank you guys for watching. Hope everybody stays safe out there. Fall is coming. It's spooky season. I got my spooky stuff around. Well, these guys are, Freddy's always up. But I got my spooky stuff out. Everything is going right. So look, y'all stay safe out there. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.